When I first heard about the Huion Note E, a new 8.4-inch Android tablet that comes with the stylus, Huion told me it was really designed for note takers, people who want to write on their device, not an art device, so they weren't planning on sending me a review unit. That totally makes sense, and if I'm being honest, I wasn't all that excited about it because I didn't really like the previous Android tablets that Huion put out. So this one seemed like a pretty good one to skip until I saw Tio's video, and what is that? The pen! It doesn't look bad. It actually looks good. I need to test this out.
This is Brad. He likes to review the tech. He also likes to draw. And this here is his theme song.
The cringy theme songs will continue until every last one of you has hit subscribe. Now, I wasn't just excited about the pen, which Huion's other Android tablets used a USI stylus. This looks like something different, something way better. But I was also excited about the size of the tablet. That was really cool too. Every day I use this. This is the Xiioami Pad Mini. Came out last fall. And I reviewed it for drawing, and it's just okay for drawing. But as a tablet to use day in, day out, it's really, really good. Mainly the reason I like it is because of its iPad Mini-like size. It's a great tablet for general content consumption, reading and watching videos and that sort of thing. What I really wanted was the size and comfort of this little tablet, but also with a stylus that rocks, and that just did not exist until now. So I picked up the Huion Note E. It's pretty affordable. It's a $370 little tablet. I paid a little less on Amazon for mine, and I'll throw all those links down below in the description if you want to check it out. And the first thing I noticed when I got it in my hands is this very nice looking box with the gold inlaid lettering. Very classy. Once I got the box open, checked out the tablet, comes in this nice sleeve. The sleeve is attached. I don't think it comes off. I tried pulling really hard on it, but I was worried that I was about to break it. It doesn't tell you how to detach it in the instructions, so I'm just gonna go with this idea that it is permanently stuck there to your tablet. And the sleeve itself isn't bad. It has this plastic textured surface. Feels good in your hand to just kind of carry around as a notebook. It doesn't move around too much on the screen, which is something that some like covers on tablets tend to do. It has a little give here and there. The pen it comes with has no buttons on it. It does magnetically attach to the side of this tablet. Although this pen has two flat sides, only one of those sides has magnets in it, so it does get a little confusing as to which side you actually stick to the tablet. I was always getting that mixed up. And it's worth noting, this is a battery-free stylus, unlike the Apple Pencil, which when it sits along magnetically on the side, it's also charging up. This never needs to charge up. That's a very good thing. Now, when you boot this tablet up for the very first time, I immediately understood what Huion was talking about when they said it's designed specifically for note takers. The traditional Android interface you see on a phone or a tablet is replaced by this notes interface. You have some icons along the side, notes, to do, apps, files, and instead of like a home screen with just a bunch of icons, you have your notes and to-dos here on this screen. You can't go to another home screen. This is it. But you can still tap on the apps button and bring up the tray with all of your apps in it. You can still open the Google Play Store and install any Android app that you would like. So this still is a fully functional Android tablet. Now, looking under the hood, this is not a high-end Android tablet though. It has a MediaTek Helio G99 processor, which is okay. It's a few years old. It was a budget processor to begin with, but it does get the job done. Drawing apps work just fine. Occasionally, I'll see a little bit of lag when I'm opening up an app or scrolling back and forth and the tablet's not quite ready for me, but generally the tablet runs okay. I wouldn't recommend getting this for gaming or doing any heavy workloads on it, but it gets by. We have 6 gigabytes of RAM on it. It has 128 gigabytes of storage. There's no SD card expansion or anything fancy like that here. Now, you are going to notice, you probably already have noticed, that the bezels here are pretty wide for a small tablet like this. And of course, there's some extra space along the left-hand side. You see that a lot on these kind of note-taking or reading tablets. There is a reason for this. You see it on a lot of Kindles too. It lets you hold the tablet with one hand without your thumb accidentally touching the screen, and when you're reading, you could accidentally turn the page if you do. Or when you're note-taking, that could like throw off the pen in some way. There is a speaker on this. There's audio. It is just a single speaker, and again, it's just okay. Nothing special here. There are no volume buttons on this device. I think this is the first Android device I've seen like that. So you can change the volume, but you have to like swipe down on the screen and manually like scrub back and forth on the audio. The screen itself, also just okay. It's a good resolution, 1920 by 1200. That's for an 8.4-inch screen, so it does look really nice, really crisp. Only has a 60 hertz refresh rate. The colors don't look bad though. They don't pop super hard, but it is totally passable as far as screens go. It doesn't get super bright, only 300 nits of brightness. The screen does have a matte coating on it. I'll touch on that more in a minute, but I did like that. But wait, Brad, I thought you said you were excited about this. I don't see much excitement here. Yeah, that's because the specs aren't anything to write home about, but I have been waiting for a small form factor Android tablet that has a really good pen, and boom, I finally have one. Even though the screen and the processor are just okay, they get the job done and they are good enough. Now, if you're someone who wants to get the latest and greatest OLED screen with a good processor and a high refresh rate, this is going to be a big pass for you, and I get that. But as a decently priced mini sketchbook, I mean, it's coming in at about half the price of an iPad mini when you add in the Apple Pencil. I'm pretty impressed, and it all comes down to this pen. It's not just for note-taking. I don't care what the marketing department says. It's a really good sketching pen. If you wanted to take this pen and use it like in a drawing class, maybe pick up a new hobby, this isn't a bad place to look. You could also look into picking up my Learn to Draw in 60 Days course, where there's a lesson and a project every single day. It's really designed for new folks who are just diving into art for the first time, want to learn about some of the fundamentals and have some fun along the way. I'll link the details down below if you want to learn more and grab a discount code that I am running right now. So anyway, onto this pen. The last few Huion Android tablets I used just not use Huion's standard stylus, the one that you see that comes with all their desktop tablets. Instead, they were using this off-the-shelf USI stylus. They were also shipping really budget tablets, and there are already a lot of slow Android tablets out there with bad pens we really didn't need anymore. This tablet uses Huion's PenTech 3. That is what you find in a lot of Huion's desktop tablets. So this pen is really good. This pen is on par with what XP Pen ships with their Android tablet. This pen is catching up with what you might find on Wacom's new tablets, when Wacom made a big splash with their Android tablets last year by including the Pro Pen 3. By the way, those Wacom tablets, very good. I say that way too much in these videos, don't I? But I really like those tablets. Now we finally have a third company with good pens jumping into the Android world properly. I think whenever something is marketed as one thing and you start using it for another thing, a lot of people start getting worried. Like, I don't know if I should draw on something that's meant for note-taking. But what I'm here to say is the pen is still really good for drawing. I grabbed Clip Studio from the Google Play Store, and I've been having a really good time with this thing. The pen pressure is really good. I'm not noticing any wave or wobble to my slow angled lines. That is a huge problem with USI pens. Here we have the accuracy that I'm looking for in a pen, and that matte screen feels better to draw on than many glossy screens do. It doesn't give you like a ton of textured resistance, but just enough to make the screen not feel slick and slippery and to give you a little bit more pen control. There's also an eraser along the back of this pen. You can just flip the pen around and just start erasing. Use the back to get rid of any unwanted lines. The eraser is big and flat, so it's better at removing like large areas of lines and that sort of thing than it is for the fine-tune erasing you might want to do. You're probably better off using an eraser brush in your drawing program if you want to do that. The extra space along the side of this tablet kind of grew on me over time. Apple would never put an extra bezel along the side of an iPad mini. And I get that this does not look as aesthetically good as another tablet that doesn't have that side bezel. But it does make it easier to use. It really does feel more like using a little notebook. So overall, I like this tablet, but there are some warnings here. There's one big warning I kind of want to place at this point in the video. That's a big con. The biggest thing is that this is an Android tablet. It is running Android 15. I checked before I did this video. In order to use Clip Studio Paint, you need Android 13 or above. So cool, no problem. This is running 15, you need 13, you're good, right? Yeah, for now. Every year, Clip Studio stops supporting older operating systems. Just in December, they were supporting version 12 of Android. Now it's 13. Next year, it'll be 14. The year after, it'll support 15, which means 3 years from now, they're going to stop supporting 15 and you may not be able to use one of your favorite drawing apps anymore. This is the biggest drawback to purchasing a tablet from a small manufacturer. Maybe it's going to last a long time. Maybe Huion is going to update it, but maybe they won't. You just don't know. And that's not really a problem you run into with some of the larger manufacturers. Apple is always updating their products, makes it really easy, gives you a good upgrade path. Samsung is doing the same thing. And until Wacom and XP Pen and Huion can really promise to continue to update Android on these tablets for years to come, it's really going to shrink down the life expectancy you're going to get out of your Android tablets. And that's their big Achilles heel right now. When we get into the realm of nitpicks and other things I would change on this tablet, I would really like to change the cover. It magnetically attaches to the back, so it is also physically connected with that strap I talked about earlier. There's also a loop on the inside of the case that you can pull out and slide the pen into it for storage. It makes a lot of sense if you're going to be sliding this into a bag, taking it with you. Even though the pen magnetically attaches to the side, it's not like a super strong hold. This loop is going to give you a lot more protection so you don't lose your pen. I think the reason they attached the cover directly to the tablet so that you just couldn't pull it off was because when you put the pen in that loop along the side, the magnet, it kind of makes the magnet a lot weaker. And they were probably realizing as they were going through this, oh, the cover's going to pop off when you slide this into a bag. So they decided to just attach the cover. I think there's probably a more elegant solution out there for this. I would just prefer it without the bulk of the cover when it's open and drawing, and then I could just take it out and use it that way when I'm working from home. Okay, so do I recommend this tablet for some people? Yes, I do. If you're a spec lover, this is not going to impress you in any way. But if you're like me and you've been looking for a little budget price digital sketchbook, this is the only one you're going to find at this size that feels good to draw on, apart from the iPad mini. I do worry about how useful this is going to be. I know that if my wife is getting a tablet or my daughter's getting a tablet, I expect to get like 5 or 6 years out of that thing. That's definitely something I would be weighing into your purchase if you are looking at this product. How long is it going to last you? That's a big question. But one thing that I think is important here is that I'm really glad that Huion has found a way to bring its desktop pen over to Android. I really hope they find a way to keep using this in more Android tablets in the future. Hopefully we'll see more promises of Android updates in the future. Like I hope we just keep moving forward and we can make these devices better and better over time, because I think they're onto something here. These are just fun to use. These are fun to draw on. And yeah, even if you're a note taker, feels good to take notes on. But what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.